What is good, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the WeSportin podcast. And today I'm here with a fellow TikToker named Nate LaJoie. Nate, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Nate. I want to thank you, Nico, very much for having me on.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Nate is the guy on TikTok who basically does top 10 list of everything. He's one of the probably one of the most unique ones to do it. Always is really funny. It has his own little intro in every single video as well. I'm assuming it's like I can't remember what it is, but yeah. So Nate, we're gonna ask you a couple questions and just kind of just get to know you more. So what made you start doing TikTok in the first place?
Honestly, I downloaded TikTok in, I believe, April of last year, right when it was starting to boom. And I had no intention of posting anything. I was actually one of my friends at the time wanted to just send me videos on TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, this TikTok thing's so stupid. Like, it's dumb." And I'm like, "Never gonna get TikTok." And then I got it, and then it started to kind of creep into my mind. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just try making a video. And I actually started more with NBA stuff.
Really?
Actually, yeah. So in the beginning, it was right around when March Madness got canceled last year.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the NBA season. And although my Knicks weren't having a great year, I'm a diehard Knicks fan.
Oh, nice.
I did a lot of NBA stuff in the beginning, and it took a little while, but I posted a couple videos and they got a couple thousand views. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, a couple thousand people are seeing this. And I would gain a few followers per every video that I posted, and kind of snowballed from there, honestly. And then come NFL season, I started posting NFL stuff, and then it really started to click.
Nice.
And
yeah, so you're at like what now? 100,000 followers, 13 million likes now at this point. I think you're around that, right?
200,000 followers.
Oh, wow, you just hit 200. I remember I believe a couple days ago, I think I checked, you were like at 198, and I think you just hit 200,000 now. Congratulations.
I'm at 198.9 right now. So I'm thinking by the end of tomorrow I'll be there.
Oh, nice. So let's get into the football world of things. So who's your favorite football team? Let's ask.
I'm a New England Patriot fan.
Oh God.
Not a lot of people know that though. I'm a self-proclaimed closet New England Patriot fan.
Oh, really?
I know that Patriot fans are kind of obnoxious. I'm the anti-Patriot fan.
Nice. So what are your thoughts, let's say, on a lot of their signings? Do you believe do you think they signed a lot of guys to a little bit contracts, or let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on them signing 2 top 15 tight ends in the league?
I think they got 2 top 10 tight ends in the league, and I think that those are the most significant signings that they made. I think that both of those guys are going to add much needed versatility to their offense. In the last 2 years since Rob Gronkowski left, they've had the absolute worst tight end production in football. It's been brutal at that position. So I think bringing those guys in, and you think back to this, and this is where I go whenever somebody asks me this question. Cam Newton's MVP season in 2015, right? He was phenomenal. Who were his top 2 receivers? Ted Ginn Jr. and Corey Brown. Who was his tight end? Greg Olsen. That was the leading receiver on the team. So now you bring 2 of those guys into the fold when he is always loved to throw to his tight ends. I think it's going to be a match made in heaven.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be really good. Now, you eventually bring up Cam. That brings up my next question. Cam Newton, he had probably a good 2-3 game stretch last season, and then he did get COVID, and then he started having this decline fall throughout the season when he would have some signs of adversity and doing well, and then he would show signs of the old Cam, the Cam that we all know and all that. So what are your thoughts on going into this NFL draft for Cam Newton? And you're sitting with having a potential draft pick to get Mac Jones if San Fran doesn't take him. So what are your potential thoughts on all of that?
I don't want a quarterback. I do not want a quarterback. That is like my absolute worst case scenario
Yeah.
as far as I go. I think that we have holes to fill. We have needs. I wouldn't mind if one of the top 3 receivers fell, namely Chase Smith Waddle. If one of those guys fell, I'd be ecstatic. Take them. But the guy that I really want, to be completely honest, is Micah Parsons. I have a hard time seeing him get past the Giants at 11, but if he does, I would love to see New England take him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this year, I think you can maybe agree with me, is that this year is an offensive draft. You know, like if that makes sense. It's a very stacked offensive draft. There are great defensive players, but I do feel as if there are there's no Chase Young in this draft. There's no Jeff Okudah from last year. There is no Isaiah Simmons. There is no Derek Brown. Like I mean, obviously I'm naming off people who were top tier defensive assets last year in the draft. And this year, there are great defensive pieces, with Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, Micah Parsons, you said. There's it's more of an offensive. Now, if you said top 3 receivers, and I know there's been a lot of talk around these receivers and, between Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, and Jalen Waddle, what are your thoughts on Devontae Smith? Because I know a lot of people still think Jamar Chase is that guy, even though Devontae Smith won the Heisman, played the full season, and Jamar Chase sat out and is still, potentially a top 10 draft pick when we've seen Devontae Smith fall in people's mocks. So what are your potential thoughts on Devontae Smith?
I think the concerns about him are about his size. The dude, tiny. He is very, very small for an NFL receiver. And we've seen guys that have been small come in and have success. About Marvin Harrison, who wasn't as small as Devontae Smith did.
He was about 6 foot. Marvin Harrison was about 6 foot.
Yup, and he was skinny as all hell, right?
Yeah.
But Devontae Smith, I think the issue with him is going to be his size. And, all these NFL teams, they read into the whole tangibles thing. How tall is he? How fast does he run? How fast can he do the shuttle drill? I'm the biggest opponent of combine stuff. I am the biggest opponent of pro day stuff. Yeah. To me, all of that means nothing. Look at what the guy does on the field.
Yeah. So I think what you're trying to say is that NFL players' futures and careers should not be determined on how they do on a stupid draft day, pro day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now we're going to move into the basketball world. You said you were a New York Knicks fan, and I will be the first to say I was wrong about the Knicks. I was wrong. You're not going to hear that from everyone, but you'll hear it from me. Julius Randle is that guy. He is a top 5 power forward, I'm going to assume. And yeah, honestly, do you see playoffs? Do you see anything? What is the Knicks' highest ceiling in your opinion?
I really have no clue. I want to get into that talk because then the opposite is going to happen. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm ecstatic with how the Knicks have played so far this season. They get after it on defense. They've really adopted the DNA of their coach, Tom Thibodeau, who I think is phenomenal. He's a New York kind of guy. He's getting the job done. And they sit at 500 right now through, 54 games? If you told me that in the beginning of the year, and then we beat, I think, either the 6th or 7th seed, I would have told you you were a liar.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions if that's okay with you. A couple more sports questions. I've always kind of wanted to ask you and watching your videos. So LaMelo Ball, a great rookie athlete. Has he exceeded expectations in your mind, or do you think this is just a start for him?
I think he's exceeded expectations, and I think it's only the start. He has an NBA-style game. He is everything that I wished his brother would be. I was the biggest Lonzo Ball proponent coming out of UCLA, but I think he's gotten stuck in a few bad situations. New Orleans has the slowest paced offense in the NBA. He needs to be running and gunning just like his brother is. But I think LaMelo Ball is fantastic. He's actually even a better defender than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's in an offense that loves to run and gun, and he's running the show. It's a shame he got hurt, but I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, we've seen though this season, we've seen a lot of, I think now in the more recent years, we saw this with Oklahoma City. A lot of teams are now running a lot of 3 guard, 2 bigs type combos, which I think is probably very effective nowadays. I mean, we're seeing that now in in Charlotte. When they first drafted LaMelo, I was like, are they dumb? They have Devontae Graham, who was already coming off a great year. They had Terry Rozier, who they signed to that big contract. Why do they need LaMelo? now I see why they needed LaMelo. They needed that versatile playmaker. They needed someone who could drive and, just be able to be who they are in basketball. So, are you a college basketball, do you follow college basketball at all, or?
You have no idea how much I love basketball. I like college basketball significantly more than I like the NBA.
Really?
You wouldn't catch me dead watching an NBA game that doesn't have the Knicks. So, I am an opponent of the NBA, and actually, if you care for me to turn my camera.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm the biggest UConn basketball fan.
Oh, the Hoyas.
The Huskies.
Oh, Huskies. Oh my God, I'm gonna cut that out. Oh, Huskies.
Georgetown.
Yeah, my bad, man.
Oh, you're good.
So now let me ask you this. Final Four this year. It came down to the finals of UCLA, Gonzaga, Houston, and Baylor. Now, obviously, 3 out of those 4 teams were supposed to make it there. 1 was in a play-in game. So what were your thoughts on UCLA and how far they went?
So let me just tell you. Obviously I'm a UConn season ticket holder. I have been for my entire life. I've had season tickets since I was a baby, right? But Michigan is like my other team,
Oh, no.
So when they play UCLA in the Elite Eight, I'm like, all right, Final Four, here we come, because UConn had already been eliminated. They stunk it up in the first round. So I was like, you know what? Here we go, Michigan Final Four. And although Livers had been out the entire tournament, I was like, well, easy ticket to the Final Four. And then, Juzang and Campbell and Jaquez and all those guys shut us down, kept us to 49 points and put up 51. So, and I honestly, I love tournament stories like that. I hate it when it comes at the expense of one of my teams.
Oh, yeah, that's really true.
But it was a phenomenal run. Mick Cronin, I think he's finally getting the credit that he deserves. He was at Cincinnati for, I think it was well over a decade. And he got the short end of the stick a lot of the times in the tournament. Bunch of tough losses. But I think he's finally getting the credit he deserves. He's done a phenomenal job there. And I'll tell you right now, they're going to be one of the top 5 teams in the nation next year as well. They're returning a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah, no. I think I saw an AP Power Ranking early AP Power Ranking. None of that is even official yet. UCLA ranked number 1 in the country.
Wow.
Number 1. And then I think they had Duke at 4, Baylor at 3, and then Gonzaga at 2. So they had Baylor, the defending champs, at 3, with UCLA, who didn't even make the finals, at 1. Now let's take it back though. Let's take it back to the Final Four. Gonzaga versus UCLA. Did you, obviously, I'm assuming you did watch the game. Final minutes of that game. I mean, did you think UCLA could have pulled it off, or did you think that Gonzaga's gonna win this? Like, I know Gonzaga's gonna win.
So, out of spite, I didn't watch until I saw that it was 73-73 with like 4 minutes left. I'm the kind of person, when my team gets eliminated, I'm done, right? I don't watch anymore because it just makes me mad, right? So, UConn got beat in the first round. So I was like, all right, at least I can still watch Michigan and root for them. When they got knocked out, I was like, ah. So I was actually playing Xbox, and I look on my phone and I get a notification from Bleacher Report that said it was 73-73. It's this amazing game. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll turn it on. So I watched the end of the game, and I knew, and I always have this feeling about games. When an underdog goes to overtime, it is very tough for them to win. So when I think they got down 5 in the blink of an eye. Gonzaga came down, hit a 3, got a stop, and I think hit like a fast break layup. UCLA calls timeouts. They're down 5. I'm like, all right, I knew this was going to happen. When the underdog goes to overtime, they're dead, right? Because they just run out of gas. They gave it all they could. The difficult block charge call at the end of regulation, bunch of stuff going against them. But they battled back. They fought back. And 99.9% of the time, the game was going to go to double overtime. But they hit the miracle shot, and that was that. But unbelievable.
Yeah, that stung me the most, 'cause I really wanted to see the Bruins, 'cause I don't know if you know, I'm a big Russell Westbrook fan, humongous. Lo
Really?
love Russell Westbrook to the I have signed posters, I have his first Why Not shoe that ever came out.
Wow.
Yeah, I have the Wizards jerseys, the Rockets jersey, the Thunder's jerseys. Man, I'm starting to become a Shaquille O'Neal fan almost. But actually, that's my last question. Actually, I want to know, what are your thoughts about Russell Westbrook?
It is very funny. Do you know my thoughts on Russell Westbrook? Are you trying to bring him out of me, or do
Uh,
you have no idea how I feel about him?
I actually have no idea how you feel. I don't know if you ever made a video on him, but if you could please elaborate what you think about him real quick.
He might be one of my least favorite players in the NBA.
Oh my God! All right, you gotta go. You gotta go. I'm just.
He,
What?
he he might be one of my least favorite players in the league. I
Why?
listen. So this is why I hate the NBA. First of all, ISO ball, uh, a, a ball controlling point guard. I don't know. I feel like a lot of his stats. He triple double this, triple double. A lot of it's empty. I think. I feel like a lot of his game is when he's down big late in games. You know,
You hurt me every time you talk.
I,
I'm just like, I'm
no,
just joking.
listen. I've thought this forever.
Mhm.
I think that with his style of play, never going to win a title with that on a team. Seriously,
No,
I know.
no, no. Here's my thing. I love Russell Westbrook. Love him to death. I think he is probably going to go down as probably one of the top. You're gonna think I'm crazy. Top 10 point guards of all time. But that's
No,
just
you
me.
know what? And I can see that.
Yeah.
I think Allen Iverson's overrated, but I think he's a top 5 point guard of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put everything into perspective. You
Yeah,
know,
true. I mean, well, you cannot deny his 42 triple double season. You can't, those are things that, yes, if he's a stat patter, but look at what he's breaking in records that
oh
no
yeah,
one can break.
yeah.
So yeah. Well, I think that it has about done it. If you want to say, anything about your TikTok coming up, anything soon on your TikTok account, any big milestones coming up soon at all, or I know you said you're gonna hit 200 as well, right?
About to
Yeah.
hit 200. Okay, I'll probably do that by at least Wednesday. It's
Hmm.
coming up.
Yeah, so
Uh,
if we can get him to 200 guys, that'd be great. But thank you guys for watching today's episode. I hope you guys do enjoy. Nate, I'm Nate. I hope you're glad that you came on today. I'm glad you came on. Ecstatic to have you here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have me on anytime. I'll be glad to come back.
All
Thank you for
right.
having me.
Of course. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll leave his TikTok in the description. And peace.